All right, let's talk about a huge shift that's happening right now and how we get found on Google. See, it's not about that list of blue links anymore. We're living in the age of AI-driven answers, and that means the old rules, they just don't work. So let's break down how you can actually win in this brand new game.
So let me ask you something right out of the gate. Is your website speaking the language that Google's AI actually understands? Because if it's not, you might as well be invisible. And this isn't some problem for tomorrow. This is happening as we speak. For years, it's all been about SEO, right? Search engine optimization. It was this game of keywords and backlinks and clawing your way to that #1 spot. But the game has totally changed. Now we have to talk about GEO, Google Engine Optimization. And this is a massive shift in thinking. We're moving away from just keywords and links to really understanding user intent and data. The whole goal now, it's not just to rank #1, it's to become the answer.
So, to help you win, we've put together a clear playbook. First, we'll cover exactly how the game has changed. Then, we'll dive into 3 key strategies: mastering the conversation, speaking the AI's language, and building digital authority. And finally, we'll check out the final scoreboard to see how you even measure success anymore.
Okay, so first up, the game has fundamentally changed. Why? Because Google's AI is now giving people rich, direct answers right on the results page. The days of clicking a bunch of links and piecing things together yourself, well, they're fading fast. This right here, this is the new mission. Your goal is not to be one of 10 options anymore. It's to be so clear, so authoritative that Google's AI picks your content to build its answer. You literally become the source of truth. So how do we do that? Well, that brings us to our first strategy. You have to master the conversation. This is all about getting into what people are really asking, understanding the deep down intent behind their questions, not just the words they happen to type in the search box. To pull this off, you need to think in what are called intense clusters. So forget targeting a single keyword. Instead, you need to map out the entire conversation. What are the follow-up questions? What are people actually debating on places like Reddit or in Google's own search experience? You're basically building a map of an entire topic, not just one single signpost. Once you get the intent, you have to write content the AI loves to quote. And there's a simple recipe for it, the prompt framework. It's just 3 sentences. First, give the direct answer. Bam, no messing around. Second, back it up with data, a hard fact, a number, something you've researched. And third, give a subtle nudge, a call to action that tells the user what to do next. That structure is the perfect little bite-sized piece of info for an AI to grab and feature. Okay, so you've got the conversation down. Now for strategy number 2, speak the language. We're going to get a little more technical now, because this is all about how you structure the data on your site. So the AI doesn't just read your content, it truly understands it. We do this with what you can call Schema 3.0, or expanded schema markup. Think of these as secret notes you're leaving for the AI. You can use a tag like intent type to explain the user's goal, or audience persona to say exactly who this is for, and check out availability update. I mean, this tag can tell Google in real time if something's in stock. Imagine the AI telling a user, and it's available right now. That's a huge deal. And listen, it's not just about what you say. The AI is a really tough judge of your website's performance. It's checking for pure speed, for a stable layout so the page doesn't jump all over the place, and it's checking for accessibility. Here's the bottom line. The AI will not recommend a clunky, slow, or frustrating experience no matter how great your content is. It's a sign of quality. Which leads us right into our third and maybe most important strategy, building digital authority. It's not enough to just say you're an expert anymore. You have to prove it, so you become a source the AI can trust and cite all across the web. So, how do you do that? You have to show up in the places the AI is already looking for trustworthy information. This means getting your original data onto niche podcasts. It means publishing deep dives on Medium or white papers on sites like ResearchGate, even sharing code on GitHub. The whole goal is to create these entity links, these mentions and citations that the AI uses to verify, yep, this source is the real deal. Okay, we've gone through the strategies, but how in the world do you know if they're actually working? Let's turn to the final scoreboard and talk about how to measure what really matters with GEO. To win, you need a new metric. Forget just tracking traffic. We have to start measuring something called answer value. That's the actual monetary value you get every single time your content shows up in an AI answer. The source material for this explainer, for example, used NIS, the new Israeli shekel. But the currency doesn't matter. The principle is everything.
And you can actually do this with a GEO dashboard. You can connect the dots, from an impression in an AI answer to a click, all the way through to a final sale. This lets you see exactly which conversations, which intent clusters are driving real money, so you know exactly where to invest your time.
You know, a quote from our source material really just nails it. He who continues to play by the classic SEO book is left behind. The old rules are done. If you stick to that playbook, you're going to be ignored.
So that leaves us with one final critical question to think about. In this new age of AI, are you going to be a source of truth or just another search result fading into the background? The choice and the strategy is yours. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.